You know that feeling when your favourite team keeps losing and you just want to scream? Well, Man United fans are living that nightmare. It hasn't always been this way, however. They've won more Premier League titles than any other English club, and they also have an illustrious history in Europe and have had some of the biggest superstars in the world gracing the pitch at the Theatre of Dreams. They've also won the FA Cup more than any other team, and they reclaimed that trophy in May of this year. Will this be the catalyst and turning point to a successful season? Can they win the Premier League for the first time since 2013? Here is the scary truth about Manchester United that no one is talking about. So you're probably wondering what really went on behind the scenes at Old Trafford last season. Well, let me tell you, it was like United faced a whole army of invisible monsters. And these weren't your run-of-the-mill problems, oh no. We're talking injuries, ownership drama, and dressing room tension that was so thick you could cut it with a knife. First up, injuries. Man United's defence was hit hard. It was like someone put a curse on their back line. Key players dropped like flies, and it messed with Ten Hag's plans big time. How was he supposed to build a solid team when he couldn't even keep the same guys on the pitch for more than a few games at a time? But that wasn't even the worst of it. The real villain in this story, the Glazers. Yeah, those guys. The owners that United fans love to hate. See, they were trying to sell the club, but it all went wrong. Failed takeover attempts, uncertainty about the future. It was like a dark cloud hanging over Old Trafford. And guess what? That stuff didn't just stay in the boardroom, it seeped onto the pitch, messing with the players' heads. Now, let's talk about Ten Hag. The poor guy was trying to build a team, but it was like he was working with one hand tied behind his back. He struggled to get his playing style across, and some players were not happy. There was talk about discontent in the dressing room. Jadon Sancho was kicked out of the first team, and that caused all sorts of drama. You know it's bad when Wayne Rooney starts talking. He said some players might have been hiding behind injuries when they could actually play. That had to sting if you're in United's dressing room. But here is where it gets interesting. Ten Hag knew they were in trouble. He called for everyone to stand up and work together. It was like he was trying to rally the troops for one last stand. And you know what? This might have actually been the start of something good. I know it sounds crazy, but think about it. All this drama, all these challenges, they were like monsters in United's hero story. And what happens in every good hero story? The hero faces the monsters and comes out stronger. Some players and fans actually came together through all this. It was like they were saying, yeah, things were tough, but we're Man United, we've been through worse. That is the kind of spirit that can turn things around. Okay, so we've talked about all the bad stuff going on at United, but here's where things get wild. In the midst of all this chaos, some unexpected heroes are rising from the ashes. I'm talking about young stars like Alejandro Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo. These guys are like a ray of sunshine breaking through the storm clouds above Old Trafford. Let's start with Garnacho. This kid's been on fire lately. He's fast, he's tricky, and he's got the X factor that makes fans jump out of their seats. That is the kind of magic that United has been missing. And he's not just a one-hit wonder. Garnacho's been consistently bringing the heat, giving United fans something to cheer about even when everything else seems gloomy. Then there's Kobbie Mainoo. This kid came out of nowhere and suddenly he's bossing the midfield like he's been doing it for years. He's got that calmness on the ball that reminds you of some United greats. And get this, he's only 19. It's like United found a diamond in their own backyard. He was also one of England's best players at the Euros. These young guns aren't just playing well, they're changing the whole vibe of the team. You can see it on the pitch. When Garnacho gets the ball, there's a buzz in the crowd. When Mainoo makes a killer pass, his teammates perk up. It's like they're injecting new life into a team that was looking pretty lifeless. And you know what's really cool? These guys are homegrown talents. They've come up through United's academy. It's like the club is going back to its roots, bringing back that famous United DNA that made them so great in the first place. Now, Ten Hag's no dummy. He sees what these young stars are bringing to the table. You can bet he's rethinking his strategies. Maybe he's realizing that sometimes raw talent and hunger can be more valuable than experience. It's like he's got some new weapons in his arsenal and he's figuring out how to use them. But these young stars might just be the key to breaking United's curse. Think about it. When a team's struggling, sometimes it takes something fresh, something unexpected to shake things up. Garnacho and Mainu, they're not weighed down by all that baggage of United's recent struggles. They're just out there playing their hearts out, and that energy is infectious. It's like they're reminding everyone what United's all about: fearless football, taking risks, and trusting in young talent. And that could be exactly what the team needs to turn things around. Or maybe it was winning the FA Cup final. Okay, so we've seen United's struggles and their unexpected heroes last season, but now it was time for the main event. The FA Cup final, Man United v Man City. Talk about a clash of the titans. This wasn't just any old game. For United, for everything they'd been through that season, it all led to this moment, and it was against their bitter local rivals. Now, let's rewind a bit. United's path to the final, it had been wild. Remember that game against Liverpool? United were down, but they fought back and won 4-3 in extra time. It was like watching Rocky Balboa get up after being knocked down. Then there was the semi-final against Coventry. United were cruising, but then suddenly they were on the ropes. However, they dug deep and won on penalties. They showed everything that day, their attacking prowess, but also their Achilles heel, defending. Questions were asked about their mentality, but they showed resilience and got the job done. Now, here's where it got real. The final. It wasn't just about a shiny trophy. There was way more on the line. For Ten Hag, it could be the difference between keeping his job and packing his bags. And for United, a win meant a spot in the Europa League. Not the Champions League, sure, but hey, it was something. But wait, there was more. Remember last year's final, United lost to City. It was a gut punch for the fans. Now they had a chance to set things right, to get some payback. It was like a movie sequel where the underdog gets another shot at the champ. Ten Hag knew what was at stake. He said, "It's been a tough season with ups and downs. This is the only thing we've had to look forward to." You could feel the weight of those words. It was like he was saying, "This is our last chance, let's make it count." And you know what's crazy? This final could have been the turning point in United's whole story. This could have been the moment that broke the curse that has been haunting them. As you know, they won, and fittingly, their biggest stars, Garnacho and Mainu, were the goal scorers. They beat their biggest rivals, won a trophy, and got back into Europe. This could be the spark that lights the fire for this season. It's been a wild ride. From their worst start in decades to FA Cup glory, this team's been through it all. But here's the thing, all this drama might actually be good for them in the long run. It sounds crazy, but the injuries, the ownership mess, the young guns stepping up, it's like United are getting a full makeover. And sometimes you've got to tear everything down to build it back up stronger. Their recent 1-0 win against Fulham is a massive step in the right direction, with new signings Joshua Zirkzee scoring the winner and adding some new firepower into the team. Then there's the new signings from Bayern Munich, Matthias de Ligt and Nasser Mazraoui to help shore up the defence. Ten Hag seems to have gained the trust of the board and the players. That trophy boost could be the spark they need to ignite something special. Maybe United needed this wake-up call to get back to being like the Man United of old, challenging and winning trophies at home and abroad. United might be on the brink of something truly special. How do you think they'll do this season? Let us know in the comments below. Also, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more football stories.